Hi and welcome along to the Invincible podcast with my man Lee Judges. Go over it yet?
No, I honestly haven't. I'm still
Serious? You're still not over it yet?
Seriously disappointed still. And I'm getting a little bit angry with what people are not angry. That's the wrong word of saying. A bit fed up with people are saying. We've overachieved. It's an achievement to get fifth. It's not an achievement. You know what I mean? We should be happy. You know what I mean?
From the start of the season, after them first 3 games, Brentford, City, Chelsea, no points on the board, no goals, things looking bleak. Somebody came up to you then and said, right, this season you finish 5th, you'll have a battle for the top 4, but you'll end up finishing 5th. You would have took it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, from that point of view, you would have took it. But then if they said, with 2 games left, you was 4 points clear, playing Newcastle and Everton, and you're not going to do it, I would have said, no, I'm not having that. You know what I mean?
All right, what was your target at the start of the season, honestly?
What
did you think?
I honestly said that I was looking at 5th because no Europe, and why I'm looking at 5th was because Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea, and Manchester United in the summer when they recruited, I said are all better than us.
Yeah, what did we get?
So we got 5th, but Man United absolutely capitulated into something I've not seen. And so there was an opportunity.
Yeah, but then all right, then when you could look on it and say you didn't know at that time that Tottenham were going to get Conte in.
No, I didn't know Tottenham were going to get.
All right, so you finished 5th. It's more on a par of what you thought it would be.
Yeah. So what we're saying now is because Tottenham got Conte, they got it because they got a world class manager and we haven't. There's little things like that. I just think that no European football, Rob, is a major thing. I look at it this next season. How are we going to improve with European football? Not load more games with a small squad, unless we're going to, unless we go madness and get 5, 6, 7, 8.
Listen, I'm playing devil's advocate with you, right? Because I kind of agree with you that I'm with you. I think, like you said, at the start of the season, I would have took 5th. At the start of the season, I said top 6. But how it turned out, I'm disappointed as well because I look on it and I say to myself, it wasn't just them last couple games. It was in our hands when we came back after our international break.
Yeah, very much.
Everything's in our hands. Everything's in our hands. Ahead of us is 3 winnable games. Not easy games, but winnable games. Palace, Brighton, Southampton. We lost all 3 of them. And for me, that's where we lost it.
Yeah.
We need to win at least 2 of them. We could have, after the Palace game, you're thinking, all right, next week against Brighton, get the job done away to Southampton. We went and lost those. And that's where, because Newcastle away, sort of penultimate game of the season, is always going to be really tough. Their last game of the season, they're buzzing. They've been on great form. Remember, I think they only lost 1 game at home from the start of the year, and that was to Liverpool. So it was always going to be, and even that was Liverpool just scraped it. It was always going to be a tough game, but yeah, I'm with you. I'm disappointed. I'm still disappointed. I still, during the week I did that overlap thing with Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher, and they're rubbing it in and saying, this is probably same sort of thing. Arsenal will probably never get a chance like this again. There's a Tottenham guy on stage carrying on like they've just won the league the way he was carrying on. I mean, I had to remind him that, you haven't. Just relax, yeah? But certainly it's disappointing because we let them go ahead of us. But even taking them out of the picture, I'm just disappointed because we could have got that 4th place. But I've made peace with it. I've said, listen, we're not going to be in the Champions League, but we're going to be in Europa League. I put a positive spin on it and said, right, it gives us 2 chances next year to get into the Champions League and not 1, right? And now what has to happen in the summer is they have to deliver some top quality players. And I'm already getting annoyed when I'm seeing things like, oh, Serge Gnabry would like to come to Arsenal, but they can't afford him. What? This cannot happen this year. If we do not give Mikel Arteta the tools, how do we expect him to succeed? That, well, when I say if the owners. So if they clearly back the manager, they clearly like the manager, but are they going to back him? That's number one. And it can't be no little 10 millionaire and 20 million and a 15 million. That ain't going to suffice. Look what we're up against, what's going to be coming up next year. You've already got, we already know City and Liverpool. They've already strengthened, by the way. These are the teams that hardly have to strengthen. You know, Liverpool already bought Carvalho in. City have bought in Haaland already, you know, and Alvarez. They've already bought players.
Yeah,
they're the ones who don't need players. They're bringing them in already. Right, that's their planning. Yeah. Then Tottenham, there was they said during the week that there's going to be an injection of £150 million to Conte for this summer. Right, whether it's going to be all spent on transfers, but they said that it's available for transfers. Yeah. Chelsea, who had, in the league not a great season, their new owners apparently are making £200 million available to Tuchel to spend. Yeah? Teams like Leicester, that just had a really bad season, still ended up finishing, I think, 8th in the end. They're going to spend because they had a horrible season and their squad. West Ham are going to spend. They saw that their squad wasn't good enough. Villa have already bought in a player as well. Boubacar, Kamara from Marseille. By the way, is a very good player. Could have been a player that maybe we could have looked at. We cannot afford to sleep in this transfer window. Listen, it's only just starting. But I'm telling you, the deals that we do this summer are critical to how we're going to do next year. There's no point in giving Mikel Arteta, as I said, they've backed him. There's no point in giving him some little substandard players or just buying him loads more potential. There can be some potential in it, but within that squad, you need established, experienced players like a Gnabry. And I'm worried when I'm hearing these signs already, or seeing these little things already that can't afford him. No. Like you said, next year, Thursday, Sunday.
Yeah.
That's the Europa League. You saw West Ham, right, last season, how they fell off because they just couldn't cope with that.
No, they'd be kicking
Literally every time they came back on a Sunday, they lost.
Yeah, they'd be kicking themselves, West Ham, because they should have won that Europa League. They had a very, very good chance of doing it, but they didn't. They made the fatal mistake in January of not strengthening. That finished them. Arsenal are the same. What this season there's been catalogues of mistakes. If you look back on it, you talk about those first 3 games. What I heard after that was, he hasn't got his own players in. Right? When he got his own players in after that, went on a bit of a run. No excuses. Now this time around, up to August the 6th, I expect to see his team. Not.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Do it in time. Yeah.
Not on August the 26th or halfway through it.
Which we do a lot.
Which we do a lot, and we're 10 points behind them. We're behind the black ball before we've even started. We're snookered. We
never get off to a great start, do we?
No, because we're never ready, Robbie. Because we're never ready.
Yeah.
No real excuses for it this time. There's no World Cups, none of this. All right, you've got the international thing in June with the international games, and after that, there's 5 or 6 weeks, and then you're back in it. So for me, they've got to do that. They've got to, and they've got to bring in players. I want to see vast improvements in our striking situation, because that's what's let us down. And nothing against the guys that are up there; they're all too young. But ultimately, we fell short on goals. Also, we've got strength in the midfield because that was lacking this season. So there's all the highlights of it have all been shown up through this season. And I'm sorry, Robbie, when people turn around and say it's been a good season, how about people turn around and say it's been a good season? Right, 13 defeats.
Yeah, not good enough.
13 defeats.
It's been an average season.
Yeah, brushed under the Mikel love carpet has been the as Nottingham Forest game.
Oh, okay.
Right,
Yeah.
that's been brushed aside under the old Mikel love carpet. You know what I mean? Like
the love carpet.
Well, the loving carpet of Mikel Arteta. Like, you know, brushed under that carpet because, you know, we lost to a team that's in the lower league. They might come up this year, by the way, but ultimately, in a championship side, we lost to. That's all right. That's all right because we haven't got no Europe. We're going to get top 4. But now we haven't got top 4. We didn't have no Europe. We had no FA Cup. Now I expect us to be competing in all of them. Now, how are you going to compete in all of them? Is you've got to have a big bloody squad, Rob, and they haven't. You know, they've got to address that. I think they've addressed it or tried to address it this week with Eddie and El Neni.
Yeah.
Squad players, Robbie.
Squad players for me.
Yeah. You know
now,
what I mean?
you know,
are they going to improve Arsenal? Yeah. No, because they was part of the team last season.
I mean, El Neni's been here for 7 years. I'm not against El Neni signing a new deal
because
El Neni knows he's not going to start. El Neni, as we've seen, at the end of the season, is a good, experienced player to come in.
Yes, exactly that.
And on the whole, apart from, say, that Newcastle game, and he weren't really at fault or something. He on the whole, he came in and did all right. He's a good squad player, right? And from what I've heard, a genuinely good guy to have around the place and that as well. You need players like that. I ain't against that. The Eddie Nketiah one is interesting. They're pushing to try and sign him. They've reportedly offered him £100,000 a week. That's a lot of money for Eddie Nketiah. Do you think he's worth that?
Yeah, no.
I mean, it's a free. There'd be no transfer fee or nothing.
My real problem with Eddie at this moment in time. And
I mean, by the way, just before you think, he finished the season brilliantly.
Yeah, I'm going to say that.
His stock went up.
His stock went up. I have to say that. My problem with Eddie, and not so much as Eddie as such, my problem with Mikel, if I'll be honest, thrown in at Eddie, and then, like, you know, now got a big contract and all that, like, you know. The same with Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe was not in the plans, forced his way in, got a big contract, now he's not in the side. You know what I mean? I'm not having a go at Smith Rowe here, but all of a sudden, you know, is it what? So, and then we've done it again now with Eddie. You know, wasn't never looking like getting a game. Was thrown into it because of
but he's been thrown in and done well.
And he's done well, a little bit like what Mikel, which Smith Rowe done. And now he's going to get this big contract. And what worries me about him more than anything else is that I don't know, Martinelli and Saka, I don't know how much there are, not much more than that, if not at all, are going to turn around and go, hold on a minute, when I want a contract. I
don't care about those. You always this, as I always say,
it's
Arsenal, the Arsenal accountants and that.
Yeah, again. But you're saying this when they're saying they can't afford this, and all of a sudden these youngsters. I don't think if you've got a youngster on $100,000 a week who's done bits for 10 games. Right, you're a player now of 26. This is my point. 25, 26 coming into the club. They're going to go, we'll sign you for 100 million or whatever, like, but we're only going to give you $100,000 a week. He's going to turn around and go, just give some novice $100,000 a week.
Yeah, but I think what it is, the way these deals work out is that because there's no transfer fee involved.
Yeah, that's the key.
I know he's still our player, but his contract's come to an end. But there's going to be no
signing on fee. Is going to be.
There's no fee or anything like that involved, right? That's why they can afford to say to him, right, we'll pay you these amount of wages, because that's probably slightly more.
Because we've let him get into this position.
I'm sure that's more than a Palace or these sort of teams. They ain't going to pay him that sort of money. So wages-wise, that's a great deal for him to stay at the club, you know. But I don't have a problem with Eddie signing a new deal. I think Eddie proved himself towards the end of the season and scored goals and looks like a player now that could score goals. But he still ain't my starter. He's still, for me, one of 3 strikers.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. He's not my main striker. I still don't think the Arsenal Football Club should be going into next season with their main striker being Eddie Nketiah. No chance. And I think he should be an important part. I love we're talking about squad and Europa League and how many games we're going to have to play. Of course, he'll play a lot of football, but he ain't got to be the main guy. I still think if Eddie stays, we need 2 strikers. There's been talk about Jesus. I noticed that's gone a little bit quiet in recent days. That would be a good signing, I think. But then even then, we still need another top striker. We need goals in this team. You know what? Funny enough, right, I was thinking about it. Like, I've always, over the last few years, been saying that one of the big problems with Arsenal is that we don't score any goals from midfield. This year, we actually did. We scored a few goals from midfield. You know, if you count, like, you know, your Martinellis and Smith Rowes and Saka, they're not out and out strikers. We got goals from those areas, but we didn't get goals from the strikers. We need a striker that's going to come in and score 15 to 20 goals. That's what we need. A 20-goal a season striker is what Arsenal need. We had it with Aubameyang.
Well, Eddie would do
before
that.
He went, huh?
Eddie would do that. If you look at his statistics,
will he?
Well, how many games
Over a period of a season?
Well, that's the thing that maybe they're looking at.
That was a little ending part, but do you think Eddie will score 20
No,
over the season?
I don't.
You think Eddie? You think Eddie is your starter week in, week out?
No, that's what I'm
going
I'm
away
saying
to Man City, going away to Liverpool. Is Eddie up? No,
exactly,
I want to.
He's non-existent against Tottenham. He was non-existent against Newcastle.
You need like a top quality striker. That's why Spurs got the top four, because they got two world-class players, right, who can score them goals in games that they're not playing well. Right, we've got no world-class player. So, you know, and that needs to be addressed as well.
100%.
That needs to be addressed. How can Arsenal Football Club have no world-class players?
That has to be addressed. And I will say this with Eddie, because people are really getting on his back and everything like that. And I've been one of them. I didn't think he was good enough for Arsenal. But since he started the games that he has, he scored 5 or 6 goals. Now, you know, if you work that out in say 8 games or 9 games, he's got 5. You work that out in 20 games, he's got, you know, another 9, 10. He's going to get about 15 goals, 16 goals,
that's great.
Which is great for
That's
you.
great.
So
but you need, as I said, I'm not against that, but you need more. You know, we need.
From my point of view, that's an improvement on what Lacazette's doing.
Yeah. So Lacazette.
So it's an upgrade on Lacazette. Yeah, I'm looking forward. So now we've got to get in the next couple of the strikers. I'm going to say this now, all right. You know what I mean? People are going on about a 3-year contract for Mikel, which is fine. I've not got a problem with that if that's what they want to go with. It tells me 2 things now about Mikel: whether he's a skin, they've got him on the cheap, or they are really generally backing him. Because I tell you what, this summer, after what's gone on over the last season with no European football, the fantastic support that the Arsenal fans have put in, I want to be excited when that Josh Kroenke turned around and said, be excited. Well, I think that's 2 years ago that he told me not to be excited.
You're not excited yet?
No. I want to be excited. I want to sit on the transfer. I want to sit in the transfer window and say, do you know what I mean? Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm now looking forward to going to Arsenal. I'm looking
About time we did. I thought last year everybody was good with the transfers. Everyone looked at it and said, all right, sensible signings. But I agree with you, Lee. I want to see a couple of those signings this season where I'm like, yo, I can't wait
to go to the first game of the season.
I want my son to be saying to me, Dad, can you get me a shirt with such and such on the back?
Yeah.
He ain't asked me recently.
No. It's just.
He said, "Yeah, get me a shirt." He's not asked about getting players on the back.
There's no excitement.
No, none excitement at all. Bring in someone that's gonna ignite the fan base, man.
Yeah, and I've got no problems with Ramsdale coming in and Ben
they were sensible signs.
Sensible signs, but they weren't ones that. Oh yes, that's good. They're going to make me come to the Emirates. I at this moment in time, going back to the as it stands, Robbie, we're going to go back next year with European football, and we might do very, very well in the Europa League, but you're just not too sure of Mikel because what happened last time, and is he going to learn whatever? But ultimately, you know, there's 10 defeats coming minimum. You know that this and that, like, you know. I want to be going to the Emirates on the 6th of August, thinking we are going to compete with everybody in that league. I'm not saying we're going to win it, but we're going to compete.
No, I'm with you.
And when, and if people turn around to me and say, well, that ain't going to happen, when the hell is it going to happen then? Because it's not happening without Europe. It's not happening with the Europa League. When at some stage are we going to say, do you know what, we are going to compete?
Yeah.
And I think it's this summer now that I'm going to sit there. I'm not going to say nothing about it. I'm just going to look and see what happens. I want to see transfers. When they go to that American tour, I want to see proper players.
No, I'm with you on that. I want to see a striker that comes in that gets me excited. I'd love to see like a Serge Gnabry. I think that would be a brilliant signing for
someone
Arsenal.
like that. Yeah.
Tielemans would be a good signing. I'd love to see like even this would get me excited, like a proper holding midfielder, like a Basuma or someone like that. I'd be excited about that. I want to, but the striker. Come on, I want Arsenal to go out there and bring in someone that all the Arsenal fans think, yeah, man, can't wait to see him play. But I fear. As I said, when I saw that news the other day when they're talking about Gnabry and Arsenal chatting about being able to afford him and stuff like that, I start to fear that it's just going to be this prospect and that prospect and that prospect. And I'm with you, Lee. I want to compete next season. I want to go away to Man City and compete. I want to go away to Liverpool and compete. I want to go away to Man United and compete. All these teams, I don't want to go there on a wing and a prayer. I want to go there and compete.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, with the owners of this club, if you're going to compete, you're going to have to spend money. I'm sorry, there's no way around it. You're not going to be able to, like...
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to be able to... When you look at those teams that are winning the league and the teams that are competing for the league, they're all spending big money. And if we're going to compete with that, they're saying they're going to... Our aim is to win the league. I don't see no evidence of that in recent times. I see evidence of stabilising things, I get that. I see evidence of rebuilding things, I get that. But like what you just said there, when is it that we then say, right, now we're ready? And this is why I remember last year when Edu was asked, what's the target for the season? And no target was set. I thought that was terrible. I thought that was a disgrace in a way. Arsenal Football Club should have a target set at the start of each season. Mikel Arteta as the manager, I'm sorry, you should be under pressure. You're at Arsenal. It's a huge club. Yeah. So you should be under pressure, right? Because you know what? If you're in charge of City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Milan, Inter Milan, any of these big clubs, Juventus, you're under pressure. They're big clubs and the owners want to win. And I want our owners to show us, I'm not even on about Arteta now, our owners to show us that they now have a winning mentality. A bit like what they did with the American football team. We remember we spoke earlier on in the year to this guy, and he was saying to us that with their American football team, they basically put in place a team to win it. They sacrificed some of their draft picks and that to bring in some big players because Stan Kroenke wanted to win the Super Bowl. He put together a team that could win the Super Bowl and he won it.
Yeah.
He'd been to another Super Bowl final a couple of years ago. So he nearly won it then. But he constructed a team to win it. Are they doing that with Arsenal? It's not just about just making a signing there and a signing there. What are those signings being bought in to do? And for me, I want to see him constructing a team to win. And if you don't put together a team that's to win, you ain't going to win. If you don't set yourself a target, then the target. What's your target? Oh, well, let's just see what happens. No, this is Arsenal Football Club. This is not Brighton. This is not Burnley.
I want proper targets.
The target should be right. This
Champions
season,
League, and that's it.
This season, our minimum target is Champions League football, and we want to win a trophy. We'd like to think we could win the Europa League or the FA Cup, but we want a trophy out of you, Mikel Arteta, this season. And that is your target. You've been here now 3. This is your 4th year. A lot of managers don't get that long. No. You're starting to be one of the longest serving managers in the league. In the time that you've been here, you've only brought us an FA Cup. All right, we know that things have been a bit hard. We've had to do a bit of rebuilding. But now, in your 4th year, that's the target. And in your 5th year, we want you to win the league. That's, to me, what the target should be.
Yeah,
then Mikel Arteta should be saying to the board, all right, cool. But in order to do that, I need this, this, and this.
Yeah.
That's how a successful, big, successful, winning club operates.
And that's how it's got to be. Like, I am not prepared, right, under this regime or whatever no more, to keep continually going to Man City, Liverpool, and getting again, I got criticised this season for saying a free hit at Liverpool, like, you know what I mean, like, and I get why people were saying that, but I was trying to. My point was being like, no,
we got no chance.
I knew we had no chance.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
so
like,
that's why you said it.
But I'm saying, like, you know, but I'm trying to give the manager a bit of leeway, whatever, like, you know what I mean. Now I expect us to go to Manchester City. I'm going to go up when I go to Manchester City or Man United, and I expect us to be putting in a performance. What I want to see is when we played Manchester City at home. I know. Listen, that's how you lose a game of football. You walk off at the end of the game saying, you know what? We've lost, but
there was hardly anything in it.
There's nothing in it. There's credit. I want to get back to that.
Yeah.
I want to get back to that. Not, look, you know what I mean, a 3-0, you know, accepting a 3-0 defeat at Crystal Palace, accepting what's happened at Newcastle. I don't want that no more at this football club. I'm not going to accept it no more. I'm not actually going to turn around and go, oh, that's great.
13 defeats at Arsenal Football Club under normal circumstances should be an absolute crisis. And we should be talking about replacing the manager.
Right,
let's be real.
But in those 13 games, Robbie, how many of it when it's been really, we've been unlucky or it's been close?
No.
I can't think of that.
9 defeats on the road.
Man United, I look back at that, we played poorly that night, but we had chances in that game.
Shouldn't have lost that game.
Should never have lost that game. Chelsea at home, they come here and it was a training session at the beginning of the season. It's just
they had a lot of injuries and that. Maybe you could make a case for that.
But it was still a stroll. Manchester City a stroll. Crystal Palace was a stroll.
Brentford was a stroll.
Everton. What about the performance at Everton?
Everton, shocking performance.
Tottenham away. You know
Tottenham away, shocking performance. Newcastle away, shocking performance. You said Everton already. Southampton. Lackluster.
Brighton.
Lackluster performance. Brighton at home. Poor
So one gracious defeat out of all those 13
Yeah.
was against Man City, where you could turn around and go, I know we've lost, but I'm proud of the way we play. You've not 12 of those others. You cannot say that,
which shows you that the squad is not good enough.
So I want to go to Man City, and I want to go up there, and I want to say, right, we're going to give you a game. We're going to give you.
How are you going to do that if next season they've got Haaland now as well, and people like that? If we don't strengthen the team properly,
exactly.
But we don't want to be going up there with pure prayers. We want to be going up there with a team that's capable of doing something. When Tottenham went to Liverpool, because they had Son, Kane and that, their fans...
There's always a little bit of hope.
There's a bit of hope for them because they're thinking, you know what, we defend right, those guys can do it for us.
There's a chance we can nick it. That's what they were saying. They're proven right.
I said the other day, when you really think about it, they deserve the top form over us. Because even when you look at some of the big teams...
They beat City twice.
They beat City twice. They got a draw with Liverpool. They drew twice with Liverpool. Right? So, we got nowhere near those teams. And that has to change. But it will only change if you've got the right personnel. And as I said, the
owners, world-class manager.
World-class manager, but...
So we've not got that, so we now need to get the players in place.
But also, I think it starts with a winning mentality, right? When I say winning mentality, I mean the club, and that starts from the ownership. They have to be like, their mindset is, we're winning this, and we're winning that, and we're winning that. And I don't think that's what really struck me last season when Eddie was asked about the targets and he didn't want to answer that question. When Josh is asked about it and he never ever makes it clear. None of them, we hope to win the league. When? I said this a few years ago. I said this at the start of the season. I said, I can trust the process if I know when the process it comes to an end.
Comes to an end, yeah.
Right? But it's like an endless process. Yeah. Winners don't do that. Winners say, they come and they say, listen, our plan is this. Like the guys at Newcastle, they've said,
they've said,
in the next 5 years, we're going to win the league. They've made it clear.
Yeah.
Right? How comes we ain't said nothing like that? We're just like, Stan Kroenke over there, we're looking to win the league. Make no mistake, we're here to win the league. When?
Yeah.
Is that this season, next season, when? And as I said, where I see they have no excuses, because I've seen with the American football team, they had a clear vision, a clear target to win the Super Bowl, and they got close to it a couple of years ago, and then they went and strengthened again, and they've won it. Right? It's clear strategy. Whereas with this team, Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we'll talk about targets. We'll talk about targets as, let's see what happens. No, who are we?
Yeah.
It's Arsenal.
Oh, and the thing is,
Let's see what happens.
the thing is with us, and I'll say this now, and I'm guilty of it. Probably you are as well. We've been brainwashed into brainwashed. I go back to Arsene Wenger's reign. The League Cup wasn't, was a big thing when I was growing up. Also, no, it don't really matter now. Like, so when you lose to a team, it don't really matter. Like, and then all of a sudden the FA Cup, well, it don't really matter. Like, you know what I mean? We're going for this and that. Everything's been expectation. All of a sudden, expectations are, we've got back into Europe and all that. Like, no. You know what I mean? Like, all of that now for me stops. I am not.
I agree with you.
I want Champions League football next season, but you know why? Not because I'm an Arsenal fan or whatever that. It's because I pay top money to get into these competitions every season, and my ticket prices are still going up and up. 4% it's gone up this year. So at the end of the day, I've now got my expectations are now going to where I expect it to be. They're going higher.
I agree.
And I don't care. If the manager's not good enough to take us there, I'm going to call him out. If the ball ain't good enough to take us there, they need to be called out. The Arsenal fans' expectations now, the reason that we've been going so low and all that is because we've allowed it. As for fan base, as a club, we've allowed it.
We've been brainwashed since we moved to the Emirates.
Yeah, I'm guilty for it.
From we moved to the Emirates, right?
Yes. From
we moved to the Emirates, before our standards were high.
Yeah.
So if Arsenal lost,
but they were nullified all the way through.
Arsenal lost 4 or 5 games a season, we'd be like, what? No. What's going on, man? This ain't right? Our standards were like up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we moved to the new stadium, and the owners and Arsene Wenger in particular, because that was the guy we listened to more than any owners. We trusted him because of all the great things he'd done. They said to us, listen, we're going to have a few hard years there, man, because we're building this stadium.
We went with it.
Yeah, we're building
because of Arsene Wenger. I went with that.
We're building this stadium. Times are going to be tough. And we said, okay. All the fans turned around and said, Arsene, we love you, man.
Yeah, well, I went with him.
And you know what? With all what you've done for us, we trust you. We trusted you when you came in. We saw how you changed the diets and all these players, built, the training ground, all that. We trust you. Went in there, and then since we've been in that Emirates Stadium, we've been trusting till, in the end, after a long period, I always say to people, you don't realise how patient Arsenal fans are. After a long time, the patience kind of run out with Arsene Wenger, and then he ended up leaving. Since then, the reason, Emery and that didn't last long, and Ljungberg and these guys, is that it's a bit like the Tory government they're over here now, you know what I mean, with this Partygate thing. The trust has gone. So people are like, nah, I don't trust him. We want to see some success now. We've been waiting for ages. So Emery had to go. Ljungberg went. Mikel Arteta's came back in. He won the FA Cup. That bought him a lot of,
and rightly so.
Yeah, rightly so. Rightly so, because, people are, okay, fair enough, hey. And then since then, that's built him a bit of trust. And this whole trust the process thing, I think on the whole, over the past couple of seasons, people have trusted him. I think he was a bit lucky last season with no fans. Yeah, I'm not too sure how fans would have reacted us finishing 8th place, no trophy, the way we went out of certain competitions. I don't think he would have, but there was no fans in the ground. I think that helped him. Come back this season, on the whole, the fans have trusted him. Disappointed with how it ended up, but they've trusted him. That's why a lot of fans are saying to you, no, Lee, let's not get on his back. They've trusted him. And I get it.
And fair play to him that they've trusted him.
Yeah. And also, credit Mikel Arteta because he's built a lot of that trust. He's built a connection with the fans, right, which wasn't there. So he's built that connection with the fans. He's I've liked how he's conducted himself with certain things.
Yeah,
some other things I haven't, but with certain things I like how he's built that connection. But now, next season for me is 4 years in. Now I want to see some definitive targets set. Now, this process, how long is it? Nobody can tell me next year about, if we finish 5th and things like that. No. That would be a disastrous season for me. This team now needs to be looking to higher heights. And if they're going to do that, they've got to, as I said, first of all, the owners have got to get their hands in their pockets and spend big. I don't care about they spent 150 million last year. So what? Because over the last few years, we haven't spent enough. And remember, how many players...
nothing in January, by the way.
We didn't spend nothing in January. Also, I want you to remember how many players have left, how that wage bill
has gone right
down. There's no Aubameyang 350 grand a week on it no more. There's going to be no Lacazette 175,000 a week on it. We got rid of Ozil's wages that were on it. There's been so many high earners that have got it. Really and truly, if you think about it, after Lacazette goes, there aren't going to be no really high earners, are there?
Someone said to me the other day...
There are going to be none.
Someone said to me the other day, and maybe they're wrong and whatever, but since Ozil's gone, it's saved the club £100 million.
Could be right, because there's no high earner. If you think about it, there's no who's the Lacazette's the highest earner, I think now.
So
and he's going.
They can get that money off.
Let me just go through the squad, because Lacazette's the highest earner.
Yeah, he's gone now.
And he's going to go. They're not. That's
Leno's another one that's going to go.
Yeah,
with big money. I don't know how big, but he's got to be quite high out. Bellerin, he must be another one on big money.
Bellerin, I think, was on about 100, and he's already said he wants to go. He wants to go back to Betis, and I'm sure they're going to try and get a deal done for him to go back. But just going through the team, and I'm just looking at it now. Like you said, Leno probably, I don't know what he's near 100. Yeah, I wouldn't class Leno as a massive earner. Then I'm going through the squad. Tierney's not a big earner. When I say big earner,
let's say like Tierney. Then, if he's on 75, if he's in 75 grand a week, just say that he's.
That'd be the range, yeah.
You're going to be banging on the door, aren't you? Surely, if Eddie's
well, not the amount of injuries he's had, but yeah, maybe. But I'm just looking at it, right. Tierney's not going to be a high earner. Ben White's not going to be a high earner. Not going to be no more than 100 grand a week. Now, when I say high earners, I'm on about 150 plus, yeah?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, go on.
Gabriel's not a high earner. Nor is Holding, nor is Cedric, nor is Tomiyasu, nor is Tavares. Thomas Partey, I heard he's on about 100, right? Saka's not going to be a high earner, not yet. He's negotiating a new deal.
Maybe that'll go after this week. Like, if Eddie's earning more than him come the end of the beginning of the season, he's going to be gone.
Odegaard won't be on be lucky to be on 100. So will Smith Rowe be. Like Lokonga won't be. El Neni won't be.
So
Xhaka's probably on 100. Lacazette. So these are the two big. I think Lacazette's 175, and I think Pepe, who they're looking to get rid of, he's probably on about 120. I think it is, or something like that. Nketiah's not, Martinelli's not. There's no big earners there. Bellerin's on about 100. Even when you look at some of the guys that, are going to be moving on loan or whatever, or been on loan, like Mari, Torreira, Maitland-Niles, there are no big earners. They're all gone. They're all gone. And before we had Ozil, we had Aubameyang, we had Lacazette. Those three alone, right? So there's no excuses. There was guys like Kolasinac on 100. Remember? 120 and things like that. They're all gone. They're all gone. Money should be there now to go and make big signings this summer.
Yeah, no excuses. I don't want no excuses. Someone turned around the other day and said, "Oh, well, we ain't going to have the same budget we had the Champions League." No excuses. No more.
We may not have as much as what I don't even think that should affect the budget.
So we spent
£150
million, right, without Europe.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, we can spend 200
And the decks are cleared. The decks are getting cleared, and then there's going to be some money coming in. As I said, more money is going to be cleared off the decks with the players.
That is one of the reasons, Robbie, one of the biggest reasons that I wanted Champions League for, because I don't really, like, the Champions League is all about the money side of it and all that, but what it would have done was it would have stopped excuses. You know what I mean? Like, why haven't we gone for Serge Gnabry? Because we can't afford him. We are in the Champions League now. There's because we're not in the Champions League. There's no excuses. I don't know if the owners are thinking, "Oh, thank God we're not in the Champions League because now we ain't got no excuses."
Villa bought some big names without Champions League, without even European football. I'm sorry. I mean, there's no excuses. Right?
I don't want no excuses.
Maybe your top level guys, like I saw where that guy, that Darwin Núñez, for instance, at Benfica, said that he wants to move to a club in the Champions League. Fair enough. But there's many other players out there. Arsenal have got to spend big this summer. Arsenal got to bring in top quality. I want to see Arsenal looking at players like Victor Osimhen at Napoli. I don't want them to be crying about the price. If you want a top quality striker, you're going to have to pay for it. And those are the sort of signings that will get me excited. Gnabry, Tielemans, and as I said, even a Bissouma. Honestly, we've got to put in place a team that gives us a chance. And targets need to be set. And this team needs to get a winning mentality. And as I said, the reason why I know the Cronkies can do that is because they've done it with the American football team. Yeah, so why can't they do it at Arsenal? Well, it will show me, if they don't, that they ain't interested. Yeah. That this is just a franchise.
Yeah, well, I've had enough of it now. The end of it, I did say in my interview the other day that Arsenal fans have been more than patient, and some more than others, but ultimately
too patient.
Too patient now. And I'm going to give the Arsenal fans a massive credit. Even though it was poor last season in certain areas, the backing towards the manager and backing towards the team was exceptional. All of those fans, all Arsenal fans, deserve better. They deserve better than what they're actually getting. They're getting served up. I'm sorry, we do, Robbie. The atmosphere in that ground this season was sensational. And even at the end of the game, I was still hurting after the game and found it very, very difficult to clap the players after it because of what's gone on. There was 20 minutes before the players come out. The stadium was 3/4 full, Robbie. It ain't been like that before.
Yeah, and I have to say, just as you touched on that, I was saying to someone the other day, I don't know if I'm being, maybe it's me, I don't know if it's you agree with me, or maybe I'm being too picky on this. I didn't like that end of season thing where just like literally there's about 100 people on the pitch just walking around. Obviously the families and everything, we want them to come on, but I wanted the players to come around in a more, it just looked very slapdash how they did it. And then I wanted to hear Mikel Arteta come onto the mic and speak to the fans and say thank you. I know they walked around with a banner and just say thank you. And guys, next season, we're going for that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I saw that with so many other teams. I saw Vieira talking to the fans. I didn't mind after waiting all that time. I thought it was a bit slapdash.
Yeah, I didn't mind the families coming on and all that.
No, family. I don't mind them coming on, but I'm just saying it was a bit chaotic.
I will say this about families being there and all that. Their attention to the players was more towards them than the fans.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And really, you know what I mean? Really and truly, I think they.
So the families should have come. They should have done a lap of honour.
Do a lap of honour first for the fans.
And then the families come on.
Yeah, so you do a lap of honour first of all. You thank the fans, then the families come on, and fair enough. But the way it just looked like, it was just like you just came on the pitch with their families, and that was it. And there was a little walk around.
Yeah, I didn't.
And even then, they didn't. I don't know if this is something to do with the pitch invasion situation, but listen, there was no one going to be invading the pitch there. But I noticed they didn't come very close to the fans either. They walked up very. I don't know if it's me being picky, but I just felt that could have been done. Could have been done better.
I felt with all the disappointment of it, that I think that they should have done a little bit better than what they.
It was a
bit of a performance as going around. It was like the Newcastle performance, wasn't it? It weren't good enough.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, but listen.
I agree with that. I thought it was a bit underwhelming, but
the main thing, I
was still.
I wanted to hear from the manager. I did want to hear him say something. But listen, it's what it is. But next season. This summer is a huge summer. It's going to tell us a lot. I feel like I say this every year, but it is true. It's going to tell us a lot. What's the ambitions?
Yeah.
What's the true ambitions?
One thing I need to say on this, right? And you can knock the Arsenal fans or whatever, you can or praise them or whatever. Last game of the season, there, new kit on, but wanting it around. I see so many Arsenal fans with that new shirt on that day. Like, do you know what I mean? Come out on the Thursday was it, but there were so many fans with that new shirt putting their hard-earned money in straight away without any thought about it or whatever. Like, I've got to get the new shirt. I want the owners to be doing the same now. When we come to that Emirates Cup on the 30th, is it the 30th of July? Yeah. I want to see top class players. And I'll tell you what, I don't care now. I want to see at least 2 world class players at Arsenal when I can turn around and go, do you know what? He's world class.
Yeah. I want to, I'll get one. I want to see Gnabry on the back or Osimhen or something like that. This is, we need to buy some top quality players.
I want to be excited.
Are you not excited?
Oh, I want to be excited. Like, you know what I mean?
You're not excited?
I'm not excited. No, I am not excited. Do you know what? Someone said to me today, the other day, do you look forward? I look forward to the summer, right? Because you know your weekend's never going to be ruined by football. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you have good weekends and then Mikel gets involved and he, like, do you know what I mean, and ruins it. So I have it, like, I ain't worried about it. I can have it, like, you know that it's a nice weekend off and all that. But I want to get back to where I'm. Do you know what? The first game of the season, I'm sort of going, I don't know.
It's early in August.
Yeah,
as well.
but like even last season, I think, I don't want it to come because you know what's coming. A 5-0 defeat on my birthday at Man City was going to come on. Like, I knew that was coming. I don't want that day.
Oh yeah.
So I don't want it. What I want now is to go into that season. I'm looking forward to it. Like, come on. You're not wanting it to start because you know what's going to happen. I really want Arsenal now to really be doing something in the transfer window so that we can go forward. Do you imagine if we got a team that's smashing teams with that fan base, what it was like last season?
And the fan base is hungry for success.
Yeah.
And hungry to get behind it. So listen, we're going to leave it open to Arsenal and the hierarchy, and let's see what they do. And let's hold them to account this summer as well. Let's see if they bring in the right and proper signings. And to me, Arsenal fans, stop being accountants as well. They need to get the checkbook out this year. If we genuinely are looking to challenge, then we need to spend a lot of money. It's obvious. We saw it. We all saw it. Don't deny it. We all saw it. It's 4 years into the process. So let's see what they do. Thanks for listening and watching the Invincible podcast. Lee, thank you very much. Don't forget you can download this podcast on all your usual formats. And check us out next week. We're going to be here right throughout the summer with the Invincible podcast. Lee will be whinging and moaning at you every week. Don't worry about that, right? And me. But no, we'll be here right throughout the summer. Actually, the turnaround's pretty quick because games are back in August. So let's hope we can get some good players in. Thanks for watching. And Lee, thank you very much once again.
No worries. Thank you very much.
The Invincible podcast. Myself, Robbie, and Lee Judges come together once a week to discuss all things Arsenal. Straight talking, considered discussion, brought to you by the fans of the only club in Football League history to go invincible.